A private jet has just flown from Paris to Blackpool. No one has confirmed whether Bradley Barcola was on board. But at this very moment, Liverpool are preparing to break their club transfer record for a player who has just won the Champions League with PSG for 2 consecutive seasons. Sounds crazy, right? A star who has just reached the summit of European football is now looking for a way out. But that is exactly what is happening at the Parc des Princes. Barcola has said no to PSG. He has said yes to Liverpool. So why is the deal still not done? The answer comes down to one number, and that number has just started to move in the last 24 hours. One side wants to buy. One side has already given the green light, but the other side still holds all the power. And if Liverpool truly want Barcola, they may have to enter one of the most expensive negotiations of the summer. On July 26th, L'Equipe reported that Bradley Barcola had stopped talks over a contract extension with PSG. His current deal runs until 2028, which means PSG are under absolutely no pressure to sell him this summer. What makes this significant is that the issue is not about money. PSG have even offered him a substantial salary increase. Barcola's problem lies elsewhere. He is 23 years old, competing in one of the most crowded attacking units in Europe, and he does not want to sign away several more years only to continue sitting on the bench in the biggest matches. Dembélé, Kvaratskhelia, Doué. Those 3 names alone are enough to make a player who has scored 26 goals and provided 30 assists for PSG reconsider the direction of his entire career. But Barcola is not trying to force his way out. Le Parisien made that clear. He is not demanding that PSG sell him at any cost. He simply no longer wants to commit his long-term future to the club. In other words, Barcola has opened the door. PSG still hold the key. And that is when Liverpool immediately stepped in. Just 2 days after the reports that he had rejected a contract extension, according to L'Equipe, Barcola reached an agreement in principle over a move to Anfield. He has spoken directly with Liverpool's hierarchy and with their new head coach, Andoni Iraola. This is no longer simply a case of Liverpool are interested. The player has chosen his destination, and Liverpool have very specific reasons for wanting him. Not 1, but 2. Mohamed Salah has left Anfield on a free transfer to join Trabzonspor. That leaves a massive hole on the right wing. And through the middle of the attack, Hugo Ekitike, one of Iraola's key attacking options, is dealing with a long-term Achilles injury. One vacancy created by a departure, another created by injury. Liverpool have no shortage of reasons to move quickly. There is only one real problem: the price. PSG value Barcola at around £145 million, with some reports putting the figure close to €170 million. During the early stages of negotiations, Liverpool submitted an offer of only around £85 to £100 million, and it was rejected almost immediately. Liverpool then increased their proposal and are reportedly willing to go as high as around £103 million. Depending on the stage of negotiations, the gap between the 2 clubs has ranged from £26 million to more than £40 million. That is a serious divide. But PSG are in no hurry. Barcola is under contract until 2028. They do not need to sell, which means they have complete control over the asking price. But this is the part that makes the whole story much more interesting. PSGs are not simply sitting back and waiting for negotiations. They are strengthening their attack very quickly, and that could be the clearest indication yet that they are preparing for life without Barcola. They have already completed the signing of Magnus Akliuch from Monaco. They are reportedly close to finalizing a deal for Ferran Torres from Barcelona, the man who scored the decisive goal that helped Spain win the World Cup. And they are still negotiating with Ajax for Mika Götze. A club does not normally sign 3 wingers in a single summer without having some kind of plan for a player who may be on his way out. But this needs to be made clear. Signing more attackers does not automatically mean PSG will sell Barcola. It is only a signal. The final decision still comes down to the price. And this is the latest development, something that has only just emerged. According to TalkSport, on August 15th, PSG may have started considering lowering their asking price from around £145 million to closer to £125 million. There has been no official confirmation, but if true, this would be the first time the gap between the two clubs has narrowed in Liverpool's favor. Add to that the detail that sent fans into a frenzy yesterday. A private jet was recorded flying from Paris to Blackpool, very close to Liverpool. There is no evidence that Barcola was on board, but at exactly the same time, reports claim Liverpool have already prepared a 6-year contract for him, simply waiting for the two clubs to agree on a transfer fee. Of course, Liverpool cannot be confident that they have won the race just yet. They are also exploring another option in Paris, Ibrahim Mbaye, PSG's 18-year-old winger, who is considered a completely separate target from Barcola. There are reports that Liverpool want to finish the transfer window with as many as 5 wide players in their squad. In other words, if the Barcola deal collapses, Liverpool already have a plan B inside PSG's own squad. So what happens depending on how this story plays out? If Liverpool pay too much, Barcola will immediately carry the pressure of becoming one of the most expensive signings in Premier League history. He would no longer be just another addition. He would become the answer that absolutely has to work in the post-Salah era. If Liverpool wait too long, the market price could continue to rise because everyone knows how urgently they need another attacker. And if Liverpool walk away completely, they still have Mbaye. But that would represent a younger and much riskier gamble instead of signing a player who is already ready to become a star. In Paris, the situation is not simple either. PSG could keep Barcola for another season, but the closer they get to 2028, the weaker their negotiating position theoretically becomes. Keeping a player who no longer wants to stay is always a double-edged sword. 3 scenarios remain open. 1. PSG maintain a high asking price, Liverpool walk away, and Barcola stays in Paris for another season despite being reluctant to do so. 2. The two clubs meet somewhere around the £120 to £130 million range, and the deal is completed before the transfer deadline. 3. Liverpool turn to Mbaye or another target, while PSG are left to decide whether they want to keep a player who has already rejected a contract extension. None of these scenarios has been confirmed, and that is exactly why this transfer remains worth following every single day. And what about you? If you were Liverpool, would you be willing to spend more than £120 million to sign Barcola right now? Or would you hold your ground and accept losing him if PSG refuse to lower their demands any further? Liverpool already have the hardest thing to obtain, the player's approval. The only thing still missing is PSG's approval. And while the private jets are still flying, while that 6-year contract is still waiting for a signature, the real bidding war may only just be beginning. Leave your prediction in the comments and subscribe to the channel if you want to follow the latest developments in the Bradley Barcola transfer saga. See you next time.